speak as to why it took so long for them to come to light. I think that's a personal thing, and that's the victims have their reasons for not coming forward sooner.
Tonight, their albums have topped the classical music charts. They've performed on Oprah and 60 Minutes. But the sibling piano sensations known as the Five Browns have been hiding a sickening sexual secret for decades now. The famed Utah Piano Quintet, the man who also managed the group until 2008, has pleaded guilty to sexually abusing his 3 daughters, the ones you just saw playing piano there, those prodigies, when they were children. Now, these 3 women, 32-year-old Desiree, 30-year-old Deandra, and 26-year-old Melody, reportedly went to police about this childhood incest not so long ago when they found out their dad was planning on getting back into the music business and managing another children's musical group. Were they worried he could molest again? Apparently so. 55-year-old Keith Brown, you see him going into court right there. He first went and confessed to the leader of his Mormon church, and then Brown, battered and bruised from a recent car accident, walked into court and whispered to the judge, "I am guilty." Now, I believe that that's the guy on the left there walking in. Brown faces a minimum 10-year sentence and could get life in prison. He was charged with, are you sitting down? Sodomy on a child under age 14 and 2 charges of sexual abuse of a child. Straight out to Kim Seraphin, senior editor for In Touch Weekly magazine. Kim, what a shocking story, and what is the very latest?
Oh, it really is terrible. And as you mentioned, now his lawyers are saying this all started last year when he went to a bishop at his church to confess it. But sources are saying that the girls, they went to police when they found out that he was going to start managing child musicians again. And they did not want this to happen. They were worried about the welfare of other young women, other young girls. So that's really what started this ball rolling. And apparently they are satisfied with this. They wanted their names to be out there. They were okay with having their names publicized. Obviously, usually you don't publicize the names of sexual abuse victims, but these girls were okay with this, and they just want to get on with their life right now. They did put out a statement on their website. They want to thank their fans, but they just really want to get on with their lives.
Now, this happened, the abuse, the incest, back in the 90s. And here we are at 2011. Look at these girls. They've been carrying this toxic secret for decades now. I want to go to Erin Merryn, who is a child abuse survivor and an activist and author of Stolen Innocence. What kind of toll does keeping a secret like this take on one's psyche and one's soul?
Hi, Jane. Thank you for having me. Sexual abuse in my childhood happened from 6 to 8 years old, and then again from 11 to 13. And I was told by my perpetrators, this is our little secret, no one will believe you, I know where you live, I'll come get you. Kids are often threatened, and so they live in this fear and silence that nobody's gonna believe them. And the message they're often sent as a child is this is their fault. And the only message they're often given is from their perpetrator. We don't educate kids in schools on sexual abuse, which is why, Jane, I made this.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to educate kids about sexual abuse. We're going to get back to you in a second. Now, the Browns, they have been playing piano since they were 3, and all 5 virtuosos trained at the extremely prestigious Juilliard School of Music. Now, take a look at this interview they did with ParkCity.tv.
I'm Desiree. I'm the oldest, so I guess I started taking piano lessons first. My mom was trained as an opera singer, and so sometimes at home she would play the piano while she sang as she was practicing, and I guess I would reach up to the keys and try to play. And she decided to get me piano lessons, and I guess it looked like fun because everybody else started when they turned 3.
Now, the father of these kids, Keith Brown, said he pleaded guilty because he didn't want to, quote, exacerbate harm by dragging out the court proceedings. The crimes occurred throughout the 1990s. Brown is free on bond until March 31st because the judge does not think that he is a threat. Okay? Hello? I disagree with that. We all know that child molesters have very poor impulse control, and especially Cooper Lawrence, researcher and author of The Cult of Celebrity, if he thinks he could end up being locked up for life as of March 31st, couldn't that impact his impulse control? I think is a big mistake to let him go free until the sentencing.
Yeah, if you think about, you're talking about impulsivity, right? So what is impulsivity other than acting in the moment and not thinking about the consequences? So when people perpetuate these crimes against, especially against children, it would never occur to them that at some point in their life they're going to have to answer for this, especially a family like this where there's celebrities and we assign qualities to celebrities and everything's great and wonderful, which is why nobody would have seen the warning signs because nobody would even think to look for it.
Well, just days after he was charged with the sexual abuse of his daughters, Keith Brown and his wife, the mother of his kids, Lisa Brown, were in a near-fatal car accident, and this happened on Valentine's Day. Reporters described Keith as battered, bruised, and scratched up as he entered the courtroom. The man holding the piece of paper is the attorney, I believe, and the other person is actually Keith Brown, the man who pleaded guilty to molesting his children. And he was allegedly speeding his Porsche when it crashed and flew into the canyon in Salt Lake City. Now, the car was mangled beyond recognition. The Browns were knocked unconscious, but Keith Brown woke up and was able to call 911 from his cell phone. So Mark Eiglarz, former prosecutor and defense attorney, the crash remains under investigation. I'm wondering if this could have been some kind of either cry for leniency by the judge or actually a suicide attempt.
Both are possible. What it was karma. I mean, ultimately, you know, no matter how many years he spends in prison, nothing will take care of or do right by the people that whose lives he took away, essentially. I mean, they're living, but the quality of life, having suffered at the hands of him for so long, you know, so again, it's karma, it's payback. It's what happens when you do stuff like this.
I'm wondering if there could be other victims. I mean, just because these three girls have come forward and they're now young women and said this happened back in the 90s doesn't mean that nothing happened between the 90s and a long time. I mean, Erin Merryn, you are an activist and an expert in child abuse and child molestation. Does it make sense that somebody does something in the 90s and then doesn't touch anybody again for decades?
Not at all. These perpetrators don't stop. Statistics show that they continue this behavior. The statistics out there show that these monsters continue to keep doing this, and they need to be locked away.
Mark Eiglarz, what do we do about finding out whether he has other victims, and how does the law enforcement, the justice system do that?
Well, you're doing your part. It's awareness. People now see his face. They feel comfortable knowing that he's accepted responsibility for this, that perhaps they'd get the same justice his daughters got. Problem is, a lot of people feel, as your previous guest indicated, they won't be heard, they won't be believed, and there won't be justice. And unfortunately, I've seen too many victims not get their day in court and not get justice. But hopefully, this will send a message to people to come forward if they've been victimized by this monster.
And my big issue is life in prison. This guy is going to get 10 years or possibly life. And I think it should be life in prison. Erin Merryn, last 10 seconds, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts are, I just passed a law on Monday. Governor Quinn signed a law here in Illinois called Erin's Law that will educate kids in the state of Illinois in schools on sexual abuse. This is a law that needs to go national, and my plan is to start knocking on Obama's doors.
Well, you are my hero, Erin. Wow, what a great way to turn a horrible victimization into something that is a force for good. Thank you, fantastic panel. Dancing with the Stars, Cheryl.